I was thinking about what you were saying about feeling down, and
Yeah.
you reminded me of something I read recently.
Really?
This text called "Shift Your Perspective: 7 Ways to Overcome Sadness."
Oh, interesting.
It's got some really cool strategies for dealing with those, those
Mhm.
kind of blah days we all get sometimes.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, it's not just about feeling better.
Right.
It's about changing, like, how we think about sadness in general.
That's interesting, yeah, because a lot of people try to ignore it
Yeah.
or pretend it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
what's fascinating is that this text actually dives into how we can shift our perspective on it.
Yes.
It's not about ignoring it or pretending it doesn't exist,
Right.
but rather about
Right.
equipping ourselves with the tools to navigate it.
Exactly. And it starts with something so simple. And honestly, I used to roll my eyes at this
Ah.
gratitude.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
how can focusing on what I'm grateful for
right.
help when I'm feeling down? But get this.
Yeah.
Studies show that practicing gratitude for just 21 days
Okay.
increases those neural connections in the brain,
Whack.
like literally rewiring your brain for positivity.
So
Like,
that's
it's really like building a mental muscle. The more you exercise that gratitude muscle.
yeah, the stronger it gets.
Totally.
And the easier it becomes to access those positive feelings, even when things are tough.
So it's not just about feeling better in the moment.
Right.
It's about creating lasting change in how we perceive the world.
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, so gratitude, step one.
Okay.
And the text talks about the power of movement.
Movement, okay.
You know those days when you just feel
Yeah.
stuck in a rut?
Uh,
Maybe what you need is to literally move your body.
oh, interesting.
It sounds simple,
Right.
but there's real science behind it.
Oh, okay.
When we exercise,
Yeah.
our bodies release endorphins, which are these amazing natural mood elevators.
Oh.
They're like little messengers in your brain saying, hey,
Yeah.
things aren't so bad after all.
I like that.
Right. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy like running a marathon or anything.
Right, right.
The text mentions walking in nature, dancing, yoga,
Okay.
anything that gets you moving and feeling good.
Yeah.
You know what always works for me?
What's that?
Just put on some music and let loose in my living room.
Oh, I love that.
It's like instant therapy.
That's great. And I think it speaks to the importance of
Yeah.
finding what truly brings you joy.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about forcing yourself to do something
Right.
you hate just because it's good for you or whatever.
Exactly.
It's about finding that movement that makes you feel alive
Yes.
and connected to your body.
I love that.
So,
Okay, so we've got gratitude, movement.
mm-hmm.
Now here's one that's really close to my heart.
Okay.
Connection.
Connection. Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to isolate ourselves when we're feeling down. But reaching out to someone we trust can make a world of difference.
That's so true.
There's a powerful psychological effect to sharing our feelings.
There is.
It's like we're lightening the load by letting someone else in.
Yeah.
And sometimes just knowing that someone cares and is there to listen can be incredibly comforting.
Absolutely.
It doesn't always have to be a deep heart-to-heart conversation.
Right.
Sometimes just grabbing coffee with a friend
Yeah.
or joining a group like a book club or a hiking group.
That's a fantastic point. It's
Yeah.
about finding those spaces where you feel seen, heard, and understood.
Yes.
And sometimes that can come from connecting with people who share your passions and interests.
Exactly. Okay, so we've got gratitude, movement, connection.
Mm-hmm.
The next point of the text is all about our inner critic.
Oh,
Yeah. That voice in our heads that can sometimes be a little too harsh.
Oh, yeah.
The text calls it rewriting the script.
Okay.
And this is where the principles of cognitive behavioral therapy
Mm-hmm.
come into play. The idea is that our thoughts influence our feelings and behaviors.
Right.
So if we can learn to identify and challenge those negative thought patterns,
Yeah.
we can start to change how we feel.
So it's like we're learning to be kinder to ourselves.
Yes.
Treating ourselves with the same compassion we would offer a friend.
Exactly. Imagine if a friend came to you feeling down.
Right.
Would you tell them they're a failure? Or that they'll never amount to anything?
No.
Of course not.
Right.
You'd offer them support and encouragement.
Yeah.
And we deserve that same kindness from ourselves.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I literally have to tell myself,
Yeah.
hey, be nice.
Right.
You wouldn't say that to someone else, so why are you saying it to yourself?
Exactly.
It's a process. But becoming aware of those negative thought patterns is the first step.
It is. It's like shining a light on those shadows. Once
Right.
we can see them clearly, we can
Let's
start to dismantle them and build something more positive in their place.
Yes. So we've been talking about gratitude, movement, connection, and being kinder to ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm sensing a theme here.
Oh, tell me more.
It's like all these strategies are pointing us towards self-care.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that our well-being matters.
Yes.
And taking care of ourselves is not selfish.
Right?
It's essential.
Totally. And speaking of self-care, the next point in the text is about creativity.
Oh,
It suggests using creative outlets as a way to process
interesting.
and release pent-up emotions.
I love that.
There's something incredibly therapeutic about channeling your emotions
Right.
into something tangible,
Yeah,
whether it's
yeah.
painting, writing, playing music, or even gardening.
It's like you're giving those feelings a form,
Mm.
a voice, a way to exist outside of yourself.
I used to think of creativity as something only artsy people did.
Right.
But this text really opened my eyes to
Yeah.
the idea that everyone is creative in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about being good at something. It's about the process of expressing yourself.
It's about tapping into that innate human need to create,
Yes.
to make something new, to bring something into being.
Exactly.
And when we do that,
Yeah.
we often find that our emotions can flow more freely.
It can be so liberating.
Absolutely.
It's like we're releasing those pent-up emotions
Yeah.
and making space for something new to emerge.
It's a beautiful process, and
Right.
it reminds me of the connection between our inner world and our outer world.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just like we can create art,
Right.
we can also create change in our environment
Yeah.
to support our well-being.
That is a perfect segue into the next point.
Oh, great.
The text talks about the impact of our surroundings on our mood
Okay.
and suggests making even small changes to our environment
Uh-huh.
to help shift our perspective.
I like that.
Our physical environment can subtly influence our emotions and well-being.
Yeah. Think about how you feel in a cluttered, chaotic space versus a clean, organized one. It can make a world of difference.
It's so true. Sometimes just opening a window to let in some fresh air
Yeah.
or adding a plant to my desk can instantly lift my mood.
Even small changes like that can have a big impact.
Mhm.
It's about creating an environment that feels nurturing and supportive.
Okay, ready for our final point.
Hit me.
This one's all about mindfulness.
Okay.
I know mindfulness can sound a bit intimidating
Right.
or mystical,
Right.
but it's actually quite simple.
Okay.
At its core, mindfulness is about paying attention to the present moment without judgment.
Right.
It's about noticing our thoughts, feelings, and sensations
Mm-hmm.
without getting swept away by them.
And that can be so helpful when we're feeling down
Yes.
because it allows us to step back from those negative thought spirals.
Right.
And just observe them.
It's like we're creating a space
Yeah.
between ourselves and our emotions,
Exactly.
which gives us more freedom to choose how we respond.
It's like hitting the pause button
Yes.
on that inner critic
Exactly.
and saying, hey, I hear you, but I'm not going to let you run the show.
And there's a growing body of research highlighting the benefits of mindfulness,
There is.
from reducing stress
Mm-hmm.
to improving emotional regulation
Right.
and even boosting our immune system.
Wow. So it's good for our minds and our bodies.
I know, I'm definitely going to be exploring mindfulness more.
I love that.
So we've covered all 7 points: gratitude, movement, connection,
Mm-hmm.
rewriting the script, creativity, environment, and mindfulness.
It's like a toolkit
Yeah.
for navigating those inevitable moments of sadness we all experience.
And what's so empowering is that these are all tools we have access to right now.
Right.
It's not about waiting for something outside of ourselves to change.
Mm-hmm.
It's about taking action
Right.
to cultivate our own well-being.
Absolutely. It's about creating a self-care routine
Yes.
that nourishes your mind, body, and spirit.
I love that it's like we're building a foundation of resilience.
Yes.
So when those storms of sadness come, we're better equipped to weather them.
I love that analogy.
As we were discussing these 7 points,
Yeah.
one thing that really struck me was the underlying theme of self-compassion.
Oh, I completely agree.
It's like self-compassion is the thread that weaves all these strategies together.
total.
It's like, sometimes when I'm feeling down,
Yeah.
my first instinct is to beat myself up about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Yeah, well,
why am I feeling this way? What's wrong with me?
Right. It's so easy to fall into that trap of self-criticism.
Totally.
But the truth is, we're all human.
Yeah.
And we all experience those difficult emotions from time to time.
Right.
It's part of what makes us who we are.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to not be okay all the time.
Exactly.
What matters is how we respond to those moments of difficulty.
I love that.
And that's where the self-compassion comes in.
It's about acknowledging our struggles
Yeah.
without judgment
Mhm.
and offering ourselves the same care and support we would offer a loved one.
I love that. Yeah.
Like we're extending that circle of compassion to include ourselves.
Yes.
And that feels so much more empowering than beating ourselves up.
Yeah, as we wrap up our exploration of these 7 ways to overcome sadness,
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave our listener with this.
Okay.
Be kind to yourself.
Yes.
Embrace those moments of self-compassion.
That's so important.
And remember, you have the power to shift your perspective
You do.
and navigate those waves of emotion with strength and resilience.
And remember, you're not alone in this.
Yes.
Everyone experiences sadness at some point in their lives.
Exactly.
And there are resources available,
Right.
whether it's a trusted friend, a family member, or a mental health professional.
Absolutely. Sometimes just knowing that you're not alone can make
Yeah.
a world of difference.
For sure.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I just want to say,
Yeah.
what small step will you take today to nurture your well-being?
It could be anything, writing a gratitude list, moving your body in a way that feels good, reaching out to a friend, or simply taking a few moments to breathe deeply
Yeah.
and appreciate the present moment.
And remember, you are not alone.
We're all in this together,
We are.
navigating the ups and downs of life.
Yes. And as long as we keep choosing to show up for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
to nurture our well-being, and to reach out for support when we need it,
Yeah,
we can overcome anything.
absolutely.
So keep exploring, keep growing, and keep believing in the power of your own resilience.
Brighter days are ahead.
Until next time, keep diving deep.